Welcome to Captivating Home. If you're passionate about transforming your garden into a charming English country cottage paradise using repurposed vintage decor, you're in the right place. Today, we'll explore creative ways to upcycle old treasures into stunning garden accents. From antique furniture to salvaged architectural elements, we'll uncover how these timeless pieces can add character and nostalgia to your outdoor space. The beauty of an English country cottage garden lies in its whimsical, romantic atmosphere where every item tells a story. Instead of buying new decor, why not give forgotten pieces a second life? Whether it's a weathered window frame transformed into a trellis or a vintage teapot turned into a planter, the possibilities are endless. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest inspirations. One, rustic charm with vintage furniture. One of the most delightful ways to introduce vintage charm into your garden is by repurposing old furniture. A distressed wooden dresser, for instance, can become a stunning plant display. Simply remove the drawers, fill them with soil, and plant cascading flowers like petunias or ivy. The worn-out texture of the furniture blends effortlessly with the cottage garden aesthetic, making it a focal point of rustic elegance. An antique iron bed frame can also serve as an eye-catching garden feature. Positioned against a backdrop of lush greenery, it can be draped with climbing roses or ivy to create a dreamy, storybook scene. The faded patina of the iron adds a time-worn beauty that perfectly complements the relaxed, informal feel of an English country garden. This upcycling idea not only saves old furniture from the landfill, but also breathes new life into your outdoor retreat. Two, salvaged doors and windows for architectural beauty. Salvaged doors and windows can be transformed into stunning garden accents that enhance the vintage charm of your space. An old wooden door, propped against a garden wall or used as a gate, instantly adds a sense of history and character. For an enchanting touch, consider painting it in soft pastel shades or distressing it for a weathered effect. This simple yet striking piece can define garden areas and create a welcoming cottage feel. Similarly, vintage window frames make charming garden decor when repurposed as trellises for climbing plants. A salvaged window with its panes removed can be mounted on a fence, allowing vines like clematis or honeysuckle to weave through. This not only adds vertical interest but also introduces a whimsical, open-air room effect to your garden. These architectural salvages preserve history while infusing your garden with a one-of-a-kind, time-worn elegance. Three, upcycled kitchenware as unique planters. Nothing captures the spirit of a repurposed English country garden quite like using vintage kitchenware as quirky planters. Enamel teapots, mismatched teacups, and even old colanders can be given a new purpose as charming plant containers. Their delicate floral patterns and rustic appeal blend beautifully with the relaxed, overgrown look of a cottage garden. Filled with herbs or colorful blooms, they bring a playful yet nostalgic touch to your outdoor space. Galvanized buckets and milk jugs also make wonderful vintage-style planters. Their rustic, weathered surfaces add a farmhouse charm, while their sturdy build makes them ideal for growing everything from lavender to small shrubs. Placing these upcycled pieces in clusters on a garden bench or along a pathway enhances the curated, collected over time aesthetic of an English cottage garden. By repurposing these everyday objects, you create a space that feels both timeless and eco-friendly. Four, repurpose wrought iron and metal accents. Wrought iron elements add elegance and structure to an English country garden, and repurposing them is a fantastic way to maintain their historical charm. An old iron gate, for instance, can be transformed into a striking garden divider or a support for climbing roses. The intricate scrollwork and aged patina create a romantic, storybook atmosphere, making your garden feel like a secret retreat from another era. Other metal objects, such as vintage chandeliers or old bicycle frames, can also find a second life in the garden. A chandelier, with its crystals removed, can be converted into a hanging planter, draped with trailing vines or succulents. Meanwhile, an old bicycle leaning against a picket fence, with a basket filled with flowers, instantly adds a whimsical, vintage charm that embodies the beauty of upcycling in garden decor. Five, antique garden tools as decorative features. Even the most worn-out garden tools can become stunning decorative elements that enhance the English country cottage aesthetic. Rusty shovels, old watering cans, and wooden rakes can be mounted on a garden wall or fence to create a rustic display. Over time, Their patina deepens, blending harmoniously with the natural surroundings. These pieces not only tell a story of gardening heritage, but also celebrate the art of reusing the past in creative ways. A vintage wheelbarrow, rather than being discarded, can be repurposed as a mobile flower bed. Filled with vibrant seasonal blooms or cascading greenery, it becomes an eye-catching focal point in your garden. Placing it near a garden path or at an entrance welcomes guests with a nostalgic, country-style charm. By embracing these repurposed elements, you create a space that feels lovingly curated, evoking the timeless beauty of an English cottage retreat. Six. Vintage birdcages and lanterns for whimsical accents. Nothing adds a touch of enchantment to an English country garden quite like repurposed vintage birdcages and lanterns. An old birdcage, once a home for feathered friends, can be transformed into a charming hanging planter. Filled with cascading ivy, moss, or delicate flowers like violas, it becomes a captivating focal point suspended from a tree or garden arch. The intricate metalwork and aged patina of these birdcages blend seamlessly with the romantic, whimsical atmosphere of a cottage-style garden. Vintage lanterns, whether made of wrought iron or glass, can also be repurposed into stunning garden decor. Placed along pathways, hanging from pergolas, or nestled among flower beds, they create a soft, magical glow when fitted with LED candles or fairy lights. Over time, the weathered look of these lanterns enhances the old-world charm of your garden, making it feel like a timeless escape. These upcycled accents provide warmth, nostalgia, and an irresistible fairy tale ambience. Seven. Old wooden ladders as multi-tiered plant displays. Repurposing an old wooden ladder is a brilliant way to create a vertical garden display that perfectly complements the English country cottage aesthetic. Whether leaning against a garden wall or standing upright, a rustic ladder serves as a multi-tiered shelf for potted flowers, herbs, and trailing plants. Weathered wood, peeling paint, and natural imperfections only add to the authentic charm, giving your garden a time-worn, collected over the years appeal. To enhance the effect, you can layer the ladder with a mix of antique watering cans, repurposed tin containers, and vintage clay pots filled with lavender, geraniums, or daisies. This not only maximizes planting space but also creates a visually appealing arrangement that draws the eye upward. By incorporating a repurposed ladder into your garden decor, you infuse the space with a nostalgic, farmhouse-style elegance that feels both effortless and timeless. (8) Reclaimed wooden crates and barrels for rustic storage. Reclaimed wooden crates and barrels are perfect for adding rustic storage solutions to your English cottage garden. Old apple crates, once used for transporting fruit, can now serve as charming open shelves for organizing garden tools, seed packets, or decorative accents. Their aged wood and vintage lettering bring an authentic farmhouse feel, while their stackable nature allows for endless creative arrangements. These simple yet effective pieces prove that upcycled materials can be both functional and beautiful. Large wooden barrels, once used for wine or whiskey, can be transformed into unique garden planters or water features. Cut in half, they make excellent raised beds for herbs and flowers, while a whole barrel can be repurposed into a rustic fountain or a storage container for firewood. Whether placed near a garden bench or by an entryway, these reclaimed pieces add history, warmth, and a true countryside charm to any outdoor space. (9) Vintage bicycle planters for nostalgic garden appeal. An old bicycle, with its gracefully curved frame and vintage details, makes a stunning garden statement when repurposed as a whimsical planter. Leaning against a wooden fence or nestled among lush greenery, a bicycle with a front basket overflowing with colorful blooms instantly captures the romantic essence of an English country garden. The combination of rusted metal, faded paint, and fresh flowers creates a beautiful contrast that feels effortlessly charming. To enhance the vintage appeal, consider adorning the bicycle's rear rack with additional potted plants or draping ivy around the frame. Over time, nature will take its course, allowing vines and flowers to weave through the spokes and handlebars, further blending the bicycle into its garden surroundings. This creative upcycling idea transforms an everyday object into an artistic, nostalgic centerpiece that tells a story of beauty, history, and timeless elegance. (10) Repurposed window shutters and picture frames for wall art. Vintage window shutters, often found discarded or salvaged from old homes, can be repurposed into stunning decorative elements for your garden. Mounted on a fence or garden wall, These weathered shutters add texture and architectural interest while serving as backdrops for hanging plants, lanterns, or rustic signage. Their faded pastel hues or chippy paint finishes blend perfectly with the soft, romantic atmosphere of a cottage-style garden. Similarly, ornate vintage picture frames can be transformed into eye-catching garden wall art. Hung on an outdoor brick wall or propped against a trellis, an empty frame creates a charming window effect into the lush greenery beyond. For added creativity, consider attaching small flower pots or fairy lights within the frame. These upcycled pieces offer a unique way to showcase both nature and artistry, turning your garden into a living, breathing masterpiece. Antique watering cans as decorative and functional pieces. Antique watering cans, with their charming patina and vintage appeal, make perfect decorative elements for an English country garden. These classic metal or enamel watering cans can be used as planters, filled with wildflowers or cascading ivy, and placed on garden tables, benches, or nestled among flower beds. Their old-world charm complements the rustic elegance of a cottage garden, blending seamlessly with the natural beauty of the outdoors. Beyond their decorative use, antique watering cans can still serve their original function and style. Keeping one near a garden bench or entrance provides both convenience and visual interest. Over time, the worn texture and faded colors of these watering cans create a nostalgic, well-loved atmosphere, making them a delightful and practical addition to your garden. Whether displayed individually or as part of a collection, they bring history and character to any outdoor space. Repurposed mason jars and glass bottles for vintage elegance. Mason jars and old glass bottles are versatile pieces that can be upcycled into charming garden decor. Used as lanterns, vases, or even small terrariums, these glass containers add a delicate, vintage touch to any outdoor setting. Hung from tree branches with twine and filled with candles or fairy lights, they create a warm, glowing ambience perfect for cozy garden evenings. Their simplicity and elegance make them a timeless addition to any cottage-style space. Vintage bottles in different shapes and colors can also be repurposed as unique garden borders or plant markers. By partially burying them upside down in the soil, they form a stunning, shimmering pathway edge that catches the sunlight. Alternatively, small glass jars can be placed on outdoor tables with fresh-cut flowers, enhancing the romantic, relaxed feel of an English country garden. These repurposed glass pieces bring both beauty and sustainability to your outdoor retreat. Old wooden fence panels and pallets for cottage-style features. Salvaged wooden fence panels and pallets can be repurposed into beautiful and practical garden features. Aged fence panels make excellent backdrops for vertical gardens, allowing climbing roses, ivy, or honeysuckle to flourish. With a coat of whitewash or pastel paint, these weathered panels evoke the soft, dreamy feel of a countryside retreat. Positioned along pathways or seating areas, they create intimate garden nooks filled with vintage charm. Wooden pallets, on the other hand, can be transformed into rustic plant stands, potting benches, or even small garden furniture pieces. A simple stacked pallet planter filled with herbs or cascading flowers instantly adds a charming farmhouse aesthetic. These reclaimed wooden elements celebrate sustainability while enhancing the timeless appeal of a cottage garden. With a bit of creativity, even the most unassuming wooden materials can become stunning focal points. Upcycled tin cans and metal containers for a farmhouse touch. Everyday tin cans and vintage metal containers can be transformed into beautiful rustic planters, perfectly suited for an English country garden. Painted in soft, muted colors or left with their naturally aged patina, these upcycled containers provide a nostalgic farmhouse aesthetic. Hung on fences, grouped on shelves, or arranged on outdoor tables, they offer a charming way to display flowers, succulents, and herbs. Their simplicity enhances the understated beauty of cottage-style decor. Larger metal containers, such as old milk churns, galvanized washtubs, or repurposed oil drums, can be used as striking standalone planters. Placed strategically around the garden, they create visual interest while maintaining the theme of sustainability and resourcefulness. Over time, exposure to the elements enhances their rustic appeal, making them blend effortlessly with nature. These upcycled pieces add authenticity and warmth, turning a simple garden into a storytelling masterpiece. Vintage signs and handmade garden markers for personal touches. One of the most delightful ways to add character to a garden is through vintage signs and handmade garden markers. Repurposed wooden planks, old metal plaques, or even ceramic tiles can be painted with inspirational quotes, plant names, or whimsical messages. Hung on garden walls, fences, or gates, these charming signs bring a playful yet nostalgic touch to the outdoor space. The distressed, time-worn look of these signs enhances the old-fashioned cottage garden ambience. For a more personal touch, upcycled spoons, slate tiles, or small wooden stakes can be hand-painted or engraved with plant names, serving as functional garden markers. These small yet thoughtful details contribute to the cozy, collected over time feel of an English country garden. Whether guiding visitors to a favorite flower patch or labeling rows of herbs, these handcrafted accents make the space feel truly unique and cherished. Conclusion. Thank you for joining us on Captivating Home as we explored the magic of repurposed vintage garden decor in the English country cottage style. By giving new life to forgotten items, we not only create beautiful, nostalgic garden spaces but also embrace sustainability and creativity. Whether it's an antique bicycle planter, salvaged shutters, or an upcycled watering can, each piece tells a story and adds charm to your outdoor retreat. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more enchanting home and garden ideas. See you in the next video.